Fernando Alonso has had his first taste of Indy Car. The two-time Formula One world champion taking a last-minute opportunity to attend the Grand Prix of Alabama 2 weeks ahead of practice for the Indy 500. It was an important step for the Spaniard, who not only got to see the racing up close, but work in with Andretti Autosport, the team that will prepare McLaren's first Indy 500 entry in 38 years. Even getting a chance to sit in the Dallara Honda chassis for the first time. It's 2 weeks since McLaren's shock announcement that Alonso will miss Monaco to compete in the world's most famous race. An attempt to equal fellow two-time world champion Graham Hill's Triple Crown and follow up his wins in Monte Carlo with Indy and the Le Mans 24 Hours.
That target, very ambitious target, because only one man in history did it. It was quite attractive at the time, but I didn't think that it was possible to attempt another race apart of Formula One until I was retiring from Formula One.
The Spaniard, though, shied away from committing to another shot should he not win on debut, despite McLaren Executive Director Zak Brown being far more bullish about growing the team's American roots.
So I would like to see McLaren, Honda competing in Indianapolis every year.
Alonso, though, wasn't surprised by the disappointing lack of response from other drivers in the F1 paddock.
We don't talk much there. So it's a different world, and I don't know. The only thing that I know is probably what you guys read, you know, because it's what I read as well. You know, some of them are happy for me and happy for this thing. I'm curious to see how competitive we can be. Some others, they are not happy with anything in life, so...
Alonso is scheduled to test an Indy Car at Indianapolis on May 3. Mercedes heads to Sochi this week full of confidence after Valtteri Bottas topped last week's post-Bahrain Grand Prix test, edging out his teammate Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel. The Finn completed a massive 143 laps, equivalent to more than 2.5 Grand Prix distances, to finish 0.07 of a second up overall on Hamilton, who topped day one. The Silver Arrows were on top, with Vettel third, despite a hydraulic leak and data issues that kept him in the garage for much of day two. Toro Rosso's Carlos Sainz was an impressive fourth. Stoffel Van Dorn finished sixth, bringing much-needed good news to the McLaren camp, completing a promising 81 laps after more engine woes for Honda on day one, with a water leak discovered in the ERS. But Mercedes led the way. The Silver Arrows focused on getting the best from Pirelli's range, with the development war heating up.
This year it's going to be like a development race with the new regulations. The rate of improvement is going to be massive, and it's really difficult to predict. I think it's going to be close.
Red Bull Motorsport consultant Dr. Helmut Marko has again threatened that the drinks brand could quit the sport after 2020 should F1 be unable to attract an independent engine supplier. Marko, who is the eyes and ears of Red Bull co-owner Dietrich Mateschitz in the paddock, has also demanded the provided engines must be simpler, louder, and cost less than $10 million US. And he's not happy to wait around either. There are enough companies around that could supply. We expect from the new owners, together with the FIA, to find a solution at the latest by the end of this season. If that doesn't happen, our stay in F1 is not secured, Marko said. It's not the first time Red Bull has threatened to quit F1, with the brand up in arms in 2015 over its uncompetitive Renault power unit, despite having to backpedal after both Mercedes and Ferrari balked at supplying its major rival with current spec power plants. The FIA, though, has already agreed with F1's engine manufacturers that future power units should be cheaper, louder, and can be raced harder. Force India team principal Vijay Mallya has been granted bail on security of £650,000 after appearing in a London court last week on fraud accusations. Mallya was arrested by London's Metropolitan Police earlier in the week on behalf of the Indian authorities seeking his extradition over allegations of financial irregularities at his now defunct Kingfisher Airlines. The motorsport boss is said to owe banks £600 million, but denies any wrongdoing. A case management hearing is scheduled for May 17. Ex-F1 driver Robert Kubica has returned to the wheel of a single-seater for the first time since his horrific accident in early 2011, completing more than 70 laps in a GP3 car at the Franciacorta circuit in Italy. "I did it in a tricky condition," Kubica said of his GP3 test. "Franciacorta circuit is taxing, and the GP3 single-seater is without power steering, but I'm glad to have had this chance." Kubica has already said he would like to test an F1 car.